Hello everybody. Are you sick of it yet? Because I am. I've got a few things to tell you. Well, maybe a few, maybe just a couple. The economic situation in this country has become so bleak that a lot of people are no longer able to afford to keep their pets. The good ones will at least surrender them to a shelter. Of course, the Humane Society charges for a surrender because they want to discourage as much of that as possible. At least that's what they always told me the reason was. I do believe there's some degree of truth to that. Local city shelters, however, do not. And from what I'm seeing, they're filling up. And I'm going to tell you, I know for a fact that they get such a huge influx of dogs and cats every single day that they euthanize daily. If I'm not mistaken, I know that it's happening in Louisville. And if it's happening in Louisville and likely Bullitt County, I wouldn't be at all surprised. Rural counties are probably doing the same thing. But I know that in Louisville, every single animal control officer it is mandatory for all of them that at least one full shift of 8 hours every single week, they have to come in and to do absolutely nothing that entire shift but euthanize dogs and cats, puppies and kittens. Why? Because they are overcrowded every single day. That's why. The last time I went to the Louisville Metro Animal Services, I'm not joking, every single kennel, none of them were more than maybe 3 feet by 3 feet, and all of them had at least 3 or 4 dogs in them. Or cats. But mainly the dogs. I don't think you can put that many cats together in such a small space. Maybe. I didn't really look a lot at the cats because I was there looking for a dog. But it was not at all uncommon for a kennel that size to have 3-4 dogs in it. And they did not have very much of any room to move around. But they had no choice but to do that. Because they had so many of them. They couldn't do it. They couldn't put fewer than that in those cages. Well, the kennel. They just couldn't do it. And it broke my heart to see how they had to do that. Because when I worked at the Humane Society in Louisville, they didn't allow for more than 2 dogs per kennel cage. Unless they came in together, then they would let them be in there together, because there was plenty of space for really 3 in the ones that they had. They were good-sized kennels. But that's rare. Most city shelters are like the one in Louisville. Well, at any rate, getting to the point, people are also abandoning their pets. I was on my way to Walmart yesterday evening, and a beautiful black German Shepherd was abandoned. It was obvious that she was abandoned. But fortunately, she was smart enough to stay where she was and not get in the road and get hit. Well, I needed to get what I needed, and I wasn't sure how long it was going to take to try and get the dog in my van. So I went ahead and went to Walmart, got what I needed, came back, and a woman, had already stopped and was feeding the dog, but she wasn't going to take her because she already had a dog and the dog was with her, what have you. That woman turned into a big nuisance. She meant well, but she was really prolonging the agony of me trying to get the dog in my vehicle. She was not helping. The poor dog wound up having 3 different vehicles and people to try and choose who she's going to go with. third that came along was a Mexican immigrant with his young son. He might have been maybe around 14. And that was probably why he stopped, because the boy wanted him to. I don't think he would have if he might have, he might not have, but I don't think most people would, if they already have a dog, going to stop and try and help another one. But, you know, there are those that do. I stopped before they got there, and I was trying to get her to come into my van. Of course, this woman was, I don't know, she was just doing a lot of things that I think were confusing the dog more than anything else. And then along came these other two. She seemed like she really wanted to go with that young boy when him and his father came along, but we all had difficulty getting her in. Once I did finally get her in my van, the man and his son had said that they wanted him. Then all of a sudden, Daddy's changing his mind. You know, I can keep her if I want to, or they can. I was like, okay, well, I'm wishing now that I had went ahead and asked them to take her. But she's here with me. She would not stay on the property, so I had to go and get a strong lead. I mean, I don't think she's even 100 pounds. She's very thin. I don't think these people either were not feeding her, or they couldn't afford to feed her as good as she needed to be. Something, but she's very thin. You know, abdomen's sunk in. So I'm sure she's not even 75 pounds. But just to be on the safe side, I've seen dogs that weight be very strong and muscular. You know, they're sturdy if strong. So I went ahead and got a 25-foot lead. Cost me like $26 for this lead, but she's not getting off of it because it was made for a dog 250 pounds. So I wanted to make sure she wasn't going to be able to go anywhere. She'd already been in the neighbor's property across the street this morning, and they have chickens that they let out on a pretty regular basis. I have to make sure that she doesn't kill any of their chickens or cause any other problems in the neighborhood for me. My own dog that I inherited from my nephew, who unfortunately is currently in jail and going into rehab after he gets out. But he was not able to care for his dog, and nobody else in that house was going to do it. It was quite obvious. When the dog came to me, he smelled so bad that he made my entire camper stink. I had to take him out, give him a bath before I brought him back in, and clean up the camper. That's how good of care had been taken of this Shar-Pei with very sensitive skin. Needless to say, I may live in a camper, but that dog gets multiple baths every week now, and he has since I got him. He's still an annoying individual. Yes, he is. Still has a separation anxiety. Doesn't like to be quiet when he can't see me. Sometimes even when he can see me and I'm outside, it's still annoying. But we're doing it. And now I've got Queenie. So if anyone is listening and you are near Brooks, Kentucky, please let me know if you want a very sweet, high-energy German Shepherd. And she does have some bit of separation anxiety as well, but nowhere near as bad as King. She will at least get quiet, and she will stay that way for prolonged periods. She hears the door open, and it's a different story. You can hear her probably in the background. But just want to let you guys know, if there's any way that you possibly can keep your pets, please do so. Please. As you well know, they bring a lot of joy and a lot of comfort to us. They don't deserve to be abandoned, and they certainly don't deserve to be taken to a hellish place of increased stress where they are likely only going to be put down. After saying that, I want to say this. If you are single or considering becoming single, watch out for online scammers and these dating sites. if anybody, first of all, if they look and sound too good to be true, you can bet a week's pay they are. Secondly, if someone that you don't even know, have never met, and they are not in any hurry to even allow you to meet them in person, or even as much as talk to them on the phone, they start talking to you about investing your money, block them immediately. Honestly, if it were me, you should do what I do. Soon as I see somebody that just looks like he's too good to be true, because, I mean, let's face it, the majority of the fellas that you're going to see in a dating site are not going to be a muscle-bound, hard-body, almost bodybuilder looking type. They're just not going to be. You see that, block them immediately before they can even get a chance to try and pull a fast one on you. Because chances are they're a bot, or there's somebody in Myanmar who has been forced into slavery, who is being forced, literally, they are being beaten into every day. If they don't make their quota of scams, they get beaten every day. And I'm talking some brutal beatings. I've seen some bad shit on some of these documentaries that I've watched. Look for them. You'll see. These people get beaten badly if they don't make a quota of scams. So I'm telling you, watch out. Don't put your money into anything that anyone online, especially in any of these dating sites, don't fall for it. Soon as you hear them start talking about all the money that they're making and where they're investing, why should that even come up with somebody that you haven't even met in person yet? It shouldn't. As soon as it does, block them. They are not legit. They're trying to scam you. I'm telling you, some of them think that people are super dumb. Because within the first 3 or 4 sentences that they send to you, that's what they do. After telling you that, oh, they're looking for a serious relationship. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're looking for your money. Don't let them do it. Anytime anybody that you haven't even met in person yet, I cannot stress it enough, they will not meet you in person. They won't even let you talk to them on the phone. None of that. They start talking to you about investing your money, block them. Don't do it. Don't do it. I only had to have that done to me once, and it wasn't even online. It was in somebody that I met at a bar. Scammed me out of $500, and back then, that was enough to put me behind for an entire month. I never let that happen to me again. So, yeah, I'm very cautious when it comes to people. Especially they start talking to me since that happened to me. I don't care what the venue is. You start talking to me about my money, you're getting blocked immediately. Because my money and what I do with it ain't none of their business. Okay? Ain't none of their business what you do with yours either. Block them. Right now, in a second, block them. Till next time, Mr. Sick of It, signing out.